Hi.
Aye.
Okay. Sure. All right. So we are here on Chav Gimel.
Yes.
לפעמים מרגיש אדם שאיזה חיים יותר בחוכמה נדרש לפי תכנסו ותיקון נשמתו וכל מעשו. So that's a person feels that some part of Torah and Chachma is required of him according to his characteristic and this fixing of his soul and all his essence. שנותן ממקצועו לדרך אחר. So I guess the example would be, let's say a person feels that he needs to become an expert in, let's say a wild example, Mesechs Machshirin. But Machshirin, what's Machshir? Food L'Kabel Tuma. Okay, just which happens not to be one of my areas of expertise. So a person decides, I need it. Necessary for me, for my character, my characteristic. And if you choose to learn Maseches Uktzin instead of Maseches Machshirin, then you feel Magishu Etzavon Vishivaron Pnimi V'Kirbo. You feel sadness and inner brokenness within you. Ze Omek Haraz. And that is the deep secret of Shiliyotze Labo Ein Shalom. Those who go out and come back have no peace. Came and Shiliyotze Adam B'Talmud, the Talmud Ein Shalom. I'm not familiar with that quote. Let's see if we can find that quickly. Say Labo Ein Shalom. What I'll do is go search on it. Oops. Okay. No. It's not coming up. Okay, let's try this way. Oh, the first quote comes out from Orot. Where is it from?
I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah. The whole quote comes up here from Orot itself.
Well, that's where it is.
Yeah. Well, that can't be.
Is he quoting himself?
No. Maybe. I hope not. Let's
Maybe he's in the third person. He's quoting himself.
uh, you know, I'm trying a different search place here. Uh, do you have in the back of the save? You have the save the actual safer in front of you, right? Are there Marmakomis in the back?
I'm looking. It's a little Marmacombus, yeah. Let's see. Chav Gimel.
Chagir Daf Yud.
The only thing he has is V'karmenu Samadar. That's from Shir Shirim.
Okay, Chagiga Daf Yud. Hold on.
Chagiga Daf Yud. No way. I know Chagiga pretty well.
Oh, let's check.
I have it right here in front of me. Daf Yud.
You see anything?
No, that's right in the middle of the sugya where it's het nedarim parchim ba'avir. That's the Mishnah. You know, hami'ilois harahim kaharim hararim hatluyim besaira mikra muat v'halachas merubais. That's the Mishnah on Yud Amid Aleph. Here it is. Aleph. Let's see. Zechariah. Parakeh, Pasuk Yud. Ki lifnei hayomim hahem schar ha'adam lo niyeh, uschar ha'behema einena. Ulayotze ulaba ein shalom min hatzar. V'ashalach es kol ha'adam ish b'reyehu. Zechariah Parakeh, Pasuk Yud. It's right at the top of Daf Yud.
Okay, it should say Rabbi Yochanan of Zeh Yotze Mitamul Talmud. It's not there.
It says I'm a Rav.
Okay.
Kevan sheyotze adam midvar halacha ledvar mikra shuv ein l'shalom. Shmuel
Keep
Amar
going.
za pirish mitalmud lemishnah v'Rab Yochanan Amar afilu mishas l'shas.
Shas l'shas.
Yes. So that
Okay,
would be
so
Talmud l'Talmud, I guess.
okay, so other yourself, so Rashi I think says I feel me Talmud Talmud.
Do I make it? Ain't shalom. Afilu mishas l'shas. Mishas Rashi says mishas l'shalmi l'shas bavli shu oimek amok. Ki damrin b'Sanhedrin daf chof dalid v'machach shkim hashiveni ki meisei oilam zu ashas shel bavel. That's what Rashi says. There's nobody has a different gear, so I don't see here.
Because I'm looking, I see a girsa mitamud l'talmud in at least in Yaakov has a girsa mitamud l'talmud. You're looking at actual Gemara, I assume.
Yes.
Okay, well there is a girsa mitamud l'talmud. Okay, P hasn't made. That's the source.
Yes, there it is.
Okay. Okay.
Guess I didn't know Chagiga as well as I have. I thought. I guess I got to chazer it over.
That's fine. I would have made the same. Believe me, I would have had the same issue.
No,
Okay.
I'm up to, where am I up to?
Okay.
I am up to Daf Yud Gimel, so I'm in the middle of chazering it.
Anyway, so that's the idea that in the Maram Kodesh in the back of the Orot, it had this or didn't have this?
Didn't have it.
Didn't have it. Okay, but it's the idea. So Talmud, and it's of course there it says in Rashi, as you quoted, from Bavli to Shalmi. But in our example from Machshin to Uktzin. Mikol to Godol HaKlalus Hanidrash Yosem Ikvasa D'Meshicha, because of the okay. So now I somehow is going to link this up to Ikvasa D'Meshicha, because of the you need a great generality, which Ikvasa D'Meshicha. In other words, you need to know a lot of stuff. As history progresses, there's much more stuff you have to know, and evidently as Ikvasa D'Meshicha comes near, you have to know even more stuff. So Yeshem is Babela. The world gets confused. So everybody needs to know so much. Somebody criticized me once. It doesn't matter who, but somebody once criticized me. He says, your problem is you're interested in too many things.
I'm the same way.
Okay. So it was interesting critique. He said, you're not going to be successful because you're interested in too many things. You have to specialize.
My favorite thing is to be Mavatal Torah by learning something else.
Okay, so I can't tell you. So you're also subject to the same failure that I am. So the idea is that if at the time of the Mashiach, there's a need to have a tremendous amount of areas of expertise, which evidently previously was not necessary. In fact, we know that until the year 1840, more or less, there was possible to have, I believe the term is a polymath, somebody who knows everything. And once 1840 came along, then knowledge started developing, as the Zohar says, and there's no one person can specialize in everything anymore. The Gra actually made a famous siyum when he finished learning all knowledge that was extant to it in his time. Except for, he writes in Pasuk Shulchan, he once saw the Gra very happy when he finished all knowledge. The only knowledge which he did not learn was medicine, because his father told him not to learn medicine, because if he learned medicine, he would have to go and heal every sick person in Vilna, and there'd be a lot of Bittul Torah involved. So therefore, he did not learn medicine. He said the most important branch of knowledge necessary in order to understand Torah is music. and which is very stunning to me, who has no ear and no capacity and no understanding of music whatsoever. But I'm sure the Gra understood exactly what he meant.
I,
So, but in any event, so until at the time of the Gra, he could master all knowledge, but it's not possible anymore. But he's not. I know that's referring to. I think he's speaking not necessarily about knowledge. He's saying about klolos. Person has to be klali. There are too many things which person has to dabble in. So Yesh's Baba in the world is very confused. So people won't be able to find their specific niche, their specific aspect, their and their specific value. And a person will chug is like go in circles, like V'yanuani is going to keep being perpetual movement from Talmud to Talmud, from one area to another area. And it's not just individuals and how they learn. It's about many nations going to be confused. They don't know the place where they're supposed to grip on to their characteristics in this world and the purpose of which they were put into being. The land is going to be moving like a drunk. It's going to be wobbly like a mluna. I don't remember what a mluna is. Whatever it is, it's wobbly. And crime will weigh heavily against it. When the flood is going to fall, it's not going to be able to rise. At the end of that day, if God Hashem al tzva, so God is going to come and visit the heavenly host on high and the kings of earth on earth. Hapkida, what is this pkida? Lo hachbada v'kilyon. It's not a visitation of heaviness and destructiveness. Kim chiluf ma'amadim utchunos. But rather it's going to be a time to change around statures and characteristics. And nations are going to come to, I guess, new missions and purposes because they got confused over their old ones. So out of the result of this darkness, which is the general confusion which comes about because of the klolius of the Ikvasa D'Meshicha, so Am Yisrael will have its own unique reawakening. And it's going to hold on to the light of Torah in all of its all of its generality. And here, this generality is a good thing, obviously. That there's a concept of the generalization of Torah, which Am Yisrael has for people within Am Yisrael to find their specific niches, their specific purposes and meaningfulness. And then the pathways will be illuminated before him. I assume the individual Jew and the Jews in general. And he'll grab onto his source of strength and it'll make peace for him. Shalom Yaselo is the world, the peace will be made for him. Again, I think it's really about Jews in general and individual Jews as well. The Torah Choseres Lom down. That is what it says about the Gemara Sanhedrin says that after all the 7-year cycle of the confusion and calamity which precedes the coming of Mashiach, when Torah forsakes us, Torah Choseres Lom down. Torah comes back to those who learn it. Uveshuvav and nachas yivashu, and with calm and with contentment, there'll be a salvation. So it's interesting. It's a very interesting piece. Rav Kook seems to be saying is that there is this idea that there's each person's characteristic in Torah is something which they have to find. Each person has one. And the world has also characteristic purposes, and in the time Ikvasa D'Meshicha, these things get confused, and eventually the light of Torah is going to come back and reinvigorate people. People are going to find their focus and their purpose. Okay.
Well, why is it a symptom or a sign of Ikvasa D'Meshicha when people are not able to, and everything becomes very general rather than specific.
I think because I think because there is interactivity which didn't exist previously, and I think this is actually a very true thing. Uh, my grandfather writes the first time in life he really met a chassid was in 1938 when his sister married a Lubavitcher chassid, and he was then a rav who was close to he was 35 years old at that point, and he grew up in Lithuania. He grew up in Tels. He was a rav in Basel. Well, he's going to be the chassid, right? It was his first direct encounter with chassidim. I'm sure he saw them in the street, maybe traveled to Warsaw, maybe so. But his first intimate encounter with Hasidim was in 1938 or 39. So, as if people did not interact in the past. You grew up, you stayed in your place, you had your mahalach. That mahalach became who you were, and that's where you remained. It's very rare that if you're a chassid, you met a misnagi. If you're a misnagi, you met a chassid. Hungarian met a Lithuanian, Lithuanian met a Hungarian, and the two of them would meet Sephardim. Didn't happen, right? Except
Right.
maybe if a mashulach came through the town collecting money for something, like the Chidah used to go around Europe to collect money for the yeshuv in Eretz Yisrael. So the interactivity which comes around Ikvasa D'Meshicha, which Rav Kook himself already experienced because he came to Eretz Yisrael and there was this ingathering of all the exiles which came together there. So I think that that's something which was not extant in prior generations. And I think that that's something which, is confusing because, okay, like today, who are you? Are you a Hersheyan? Are you a Litvak? Are you a Galiciana? Are you learn Reb Tzadok? You learn Musar? Well, I'm talking about myself, right? These things all are confusing, right? And like I said, it's something which is a critique to a certain extent. So you throw everything up in the air, and where it comes down is where it comes down. So Rav Kook is saying people have to find, and eventually they will find, and Am Yisrael has to find, and the people in Am Yisrael have to find a mahalach, a new perspective, which is their Talmud. Even though they left, perhaps have to leave the Talmud before, they're going to another Talmud, and they're going to have to sort it out. I think Rav Kook was a classic example of such a person. In other words, he took Hasidus and Kabbalah and put it on top of his Lithuanian background and forged a new identity in Torah. And obviously, it was very attractive to a lot of people and very off-putting to other people. So that was this idea of Am Yisrael is going to come up with these new perspectives, these new mahalchim, and people are going to find that the Torah choseres l'lamdea b'shuva v'nachas, and eventually, although it's discombobulated, it's going to come eventually to be calming. I have no idea if anything I just said is actually true, but it makes sense to me.
Yeah, very interesting.
Okay.
I think that the availability of knowledge, at your fingertips nowadays, makes people feel like they're smarter than they really are.
Oh,
You know,
but
I was,
yeah, obviously people are much stupider nowadays than they ever were.
yeah, I was talking to someone I think it was yesterday, the day before, and he said he went on a job interview and he had the experience and the knowledge that they were looking for, but he said the interviewer told him that people look up the job posting and then they Google everything about the job, and then they come in for the interview, see if they can fake it through and get hired. So people feel like they have all this knowledge at their fingertips, but they really it's empty. And my father always used to say, perhaps his reach exceeds his grasp.
Yeah,
That was one of his favorite sayings.
It's not directly related, but I will mention that I had a brief encounter in class the other day with which personified the lack of knowledge of our generation to such a beautiful extent. Which is there was showing a video in which they said something about in World War II there was a titanic struggle between the Soviet Union and Germany, and a girl comes over to me and says, "Did Titanic sink during World War II?"
I'm going to tell that story. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Okay. On that
Yes.
happy note.
Yes.
All
Okay.
right.
Very good. Thank you
Have a
very
good
much.
week. Have a good
You
night. Bye
too.
bye.
Take care. Good night.
Good night. Bye bye.